Show today, but we are here 10:15 to noon here on The Cave, cavetalkradio.com and the Cave Talk Radio app. It's great to have you aboard. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo, and Rich has his reverb off, so when he talks, he's not gonna go ba 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 ba. Make sure of that. Always gotta check that. So hey, welcome to the program. Okay, so easy place to start today. If I can get myself on camera. There we go. Easy place to start today. Brittany Griner released from Russia. Why don't we call it a bombshell? Because that's what it's about to be. To get her back, we gave away a guy who sells more bombs and weapons than anyone on the planet, it sounds like. And we didn't even get Paul Whelan back, who is a Illinois executive imprisoned in Russia for 4 years now, 6 years. And look, I'm happy that Brittany's home. Or on her way home. I didn't want her there. But we just traded a BMW for a Buick here. We did not get equal value. We released a guy who is incredibly dangerous for a basketball player. It's unfortunate. You feel bad for Brittany. I mean, what she did was dumb, but certainly wasn't worth what she was going through. But this is an awful, awful decision by the Biden administration on just the pure face of it. And if you're not mature enough to admit that, and you can't look past the emotions of it, then you shouldn't be making public policy. This was clearly done out of nothing but political expediency to grab a couple of cheap political points and adhere at release political pressure. There's nothing else. I mean, this doesn't make sense. This is wrong. I mean, we released a guy who could potentially fund and weaponize terrorists or other people or groups that want to do harm to us or others. Like, this guy was where he needed to be, away from access to all of that stuff. I'm sorry. I don't agree with this. This is bad.
I'm beyond angry this morning.
Yeah. It's the proper reaction.
The fact that we couldn't even, and it's looking beyond who we gave up. The fact we couldn't even get Whelan back.
Yeah,
who's been over there much longer than
6
Griner,
years.
and for no reason.
Right, for no reason.
No valid reason. I'm angry at the country this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly reasonable to be angry at the Biden administration right now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And I mean, the truth is, like you were just intimating, I mean, we got bent over a barrel here in these negotiations. We gave up a gold block and we got back some denim. Like, that's the value we just made. We traded a block of gold for a pair of jeans from Old Navy in terms of value. You know, and I'm not talking about intrinsic value. I'm not trying to say Brittany doesn't have intrinsic value. We all do. But yes, that's not what you're dealing with when you're doing a prisoner swap. I mean, it would be one thing if the guy we were releasing was some other, wrongfully detained, generally harmless person. But, we don't have a lot of those because we're America and not Russia. Which is good,
right?
But
they have a lot of them.
They do, but that's why they're Russia. And but I think that we really got worked here. I mean,
yeah, we did.
We got worked in a big way.
I want to know who the lead negotiator or team of negotiators were on this.
Were there any? I don't think we had any negotiators.
No, we did.
Well, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like Russia just kept saying, we want this guy for Brittany. We want this guy for Brittany. They said it enough times and we eventually said, okay.
I just want to know who the negotiator was on this, because he or she should not have a job.
Yeah, no, I mean, whoever it was not was not present. They didn't do any negotiating. That was my point. We may
Yeah.
as well not have had negotiators, because really anyone could have. Russia wanted this exact deal 9 months ago, or 8 months ago, when all this started, whenever it was. Like, these were the exact names we were talking about then. And we can't even get a 2-for-1 when we're giving you a guy who's gonna arm the hell out of everybody. We can't even get a 2-for-1. I mean,
And that's what makes me more angry than anything.
yeah, it's preposterous. It's absolutely preposterous. And like, if you're just celebrating Britney being home right now, unless you're like her family, you're looking at this all wrong. We got worked, and the world
Yep.
got more dangerous.
Yes. And that's the last thing we need right now.
Forever, right?
The world is more unstable than usual.
Right. Yeah, so it's not a good look. It's really,
No, not
really
at
bad.
all.
And I'm disappointed. And frankly, this caught me off guard. I mean, this wasn't something this kind of happened suddenly, like middle of the night type of thing.
Yeah, I expected to come out and talk about Xander Bogaerts.
Right, which we'll get to. I mean, and we'll definitely get to that. There's a lot of other things to get to today too. But yeah,
I have one question for you though. Now, how does this make us look in the world picture? We look weak. We look like, hey, they can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's new. I feel like we probably have looked that way since, January of 2020. But so I don't think that really changed with this. It was just another, example of what you could use as saying, here's an example of us knowing they're weak. But I feel like this is not, I don't think that changed anything. I think that was already well established since January of 2020. I think that's why we have the war in Ukraine. I think that's why Al Qaeda is back in power in Afghanistan. I think that's why North Korea is blowing missiles again. None of that was happening prior to January of 2020, because they were all in line, because they knew America was strong. It's just a fact.
No, it was a few years after that, Dylan. You got the year wrong.
I just was reading these texts. For those listening on the radio, if you're those watching on Facebook are able to comment via live chat, and Dylan says Rich traded his hair to Russia back in 1983. Oh, Dylan got jokes this morning. I like it.
Hey, it was a good deal though, because we got future Brittany Griner back.
Oh, beautiful. That's right. Oh,
I would rather laugh about this than feel the way I honestly do.
Yeah, I understand that completely. Oh, that's funny stuff. All right, well, good stuff. Let's take our first break. We'll come back. When we come back, we got a lot to get to today. We're gonna do Xander Bogaerts, as you mentioned, big news in baseball.
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. So we'll get into that. We have the question of the day. We have the, of course, the NBA was in full swing last night, so we'll get into that. A lot to get to. Just getting started. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now. with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All right, so Xander Bogaerts is headed to Philadelphia, and the rich get richer. Oh, that lineup. San Diego. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Trey Turner. You're right. San Diego. Same thing. That lineup is stacked. But Josh Bell is gone. So he went to, was it, who signed Josh Bell? Was it Baltimore? No, it wasn't Baltimore. I forget. But yeah, Xander Bogaerts is in San Diego.
And don't forget, Aaron Judge turned down $410 million from San Diego.
Where did San Diego did they rob the mint?
Probably.
Are they getting a kickback on all of Joe Biden's dirty China deals? Where are they getting all this money from? I mean, I'm sorry, I want to roll tonight. That Griner thing set me off. I can't contain my contempt for that man today. I just can't do it.
So the fact that they're free $400 million means they get Bogaerts, and they got more money to spend.
Jeez.
They're going to fill that Josh Bell spot. This team's going to be dangerous.
Oh, it is. I mean, they're already dangerous. Look at them. I don't know if they're as dangerous as the guy we gave up for Brittany, but yeah, they're getting there. That's their goal. They want to be that dangerous. That's their goal.
Do this all day. I'm trying to get in a better
mood. Go talk to Dylan. He's in a good mood. He'll have something for you.
This doesn't help if you keep reminding me about that awful thing.
Sorry, it's in front and center of my mind. I gotta speak what's on my mind now. I mean, with Josh Bell gone, I mean, they did need another bat in their lineup. There's more that makes up for that. Xander Bogaerts is obviously better than Josh Bell.
He is. And it frees up the money Judge didn't take to get them It
was Cleveland, by the way. I couldn't remember. It was Cleveland that signed Josh Bell.
And he's much needed in Cleveland.
Yes.
Now the Padres need a first baseman, and they're going to get one. I don't doubt at all they're going to get one.
The Mets had some news yesterday, too.
They did.
Quintana joins the club.
Jose Quintana.
Replacing Tawan Walker, who was signed away. So
the Red Sox finally did something.
Yes.
They signed Kenley Jansen to a 2-year deal.
I saw that.
And Masataka Yoshida, who played with the Oryx Buffaloes in the Japan Super League. And I know that because, yes, I watch far too much baseball. He's a good hitter. They gave him 5 years, $90 million, plus the other $20 million or whatever to get him from them, the rights to talk to him.
Yeah,
they are spending a bit of that money, but I don't know. Is that a trade-off for you, Bogaerts? Maybe now Devers might not want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, and no, this Philly roster is nuts. I mean, because they landed Walker too, so they took one from the Mets and added them to themselves. They needed some starting pitching.
Yes,
the Mets did a good job. I think the Mets losing 2 free agent pitchers, of course, DeGrom and now Walker, both times I think they marginally upgraded with Verlander and Quintana. Certainly, I think Quintana is better than Walker. I think Verlander maybe isn't quite as absolute great as Jake when Jake said his absolute best, but he's like very, very close, and he's also available.
Yeah, that's the key.
And so
That's
overall,
stability.
it's availability. That's right. So overall, I think the Mets are in a slightly better shape with their pitching staff. Now that requires them to re-sign Chris Bassett, who's still out there. Nothing has happened with him. Also, Brandon Nimmo is still out there. So a couple of key free agents for the Mets. The Yankees did what they were going to do. I don't know. Like, I haven't heard one thing about any other news related to any Yankee players, either going or coming. Like, it sounds like the Yankees are just happy to go run it back. They re-signed Cashman for 4 years, re-signed
So they
Judge
didn't
for
get
9.
any better, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're just gonna it's good enough. Well,
Maybe a little worse if they lose Benintendi. And who's interested? The
Awesome.
Padres.
I heard the Mets were in on him. I've heard
The Mets are kicking the tires on that.
Yep, I've
But
heard
the Padres want to get something done, from what I've heard.
I've also heard the Astros are in on Benintendi.
Interesting.
Which would be interesting. Yes, it would. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you look at the Yankees, they're not doing anything to get better. Judge is not going to be what he was last year. I mean, how could he? That's a once in a lifetime season, you know? So
I think he peaked last year.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I think and I'm glad, if you're a Padres fan, you're happy he didn't sign.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
you want to have 9 years of injury prone.
Yeah. I was surprised at how many teams were in on him to the extent that they were, between the Padres, the Giants, and of course the Yankees.
That's really it. I mean,
yeah, but I was surprised there was that many. I thought it was going to be pretty much the Yankees negotiating against themselves and against the egg on their face for losing their crown guy after not being able to get it done in the offseason. I thought more teams, pretty much all the other teams, would be tepid in pursuing Judge because of his injury history and not wanting to pay for 9 years for what he just did this year.
The fact he wanted a 9-year deal.
I was shocked that there was more than one team willing to entertain contracts of that length and size for a guy with his history. That's what I mean. That was surprising to me.
Hey, there's no cap, and these owners have money to burn.
Oh, they got money to burn. That's why they own baseball teams. It's amazing.
I mean, some of these guys laugh at a luxury tax.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Send the bill to my secretary. Whatever.
Yeah.
I pay more in POs each week in reconciliation than this. Like, I don't care. Like 100 million, whatever. That's 2 weeks worth of supplies for my industrial company or whatever the hell their money's coming from. Like,
yeah,
it's like big deal.
We'll give everybody a mandatory 2-week vacation. It's fine.
That's it. That's it. 2-week vacation, or hell, we'll sell a couple of more widgets or gadgets, whatever. Man. But yeah, no, this has been one of the more fun and enjoyable baseball off seasons I can remember in a very long time. And we're not done yet. You still got Bassett, you still got Benintendi. You know, those guys are still out there. There's a couple of other guys still out there, of course, too. Nimmo is still out there, of course.
Yeah. And shout out to the Cardinals. Oh, Javier Molina retired. Okay. We'll sign William Contreras.
Yes. Wilson, yes. Wilson Contreras,
Wilson Contreras. Oh, my God.
What are the chances of that?
We're getting a guy who we had platooned and DH'd in the past couple of years because he was old.
Right.
And we're getting a star quality catcher. So don't think they won't be better.
No, I think they're just okay. I think they're just fine. The Cardinals are one of those organizations that just are always competitive. They just are. The Cubs, didn't the Cubs make one move? Oh, yeah, they brought in Cody Bellinger. We mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah. That was a no-risk deal.
Yeah.
1 year.
See if he could ever rediscover what he once was.
Why not? Then if he does and has a good year, Someone will sign him away from the Cubs.
That's
That's
right.
how this all works.
That's how it goes. Trading assets, moving chips around the table. That's what they're doing. All right, well, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll do the question of the day. We have, of course, Thursday night football to get to today. And we also have a lot of NBA, of course, news you can use, top 5, all that to come in the second hour. A lot to get to. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then, if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you. With the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
Professional athletes are descending into data overload. I am KO, back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, you may qualify for a free continuous glucose monitor system. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM systems can automatically manage your diabetes better for you. And by using a CGM system, you can eliminate forever one thing most people with diabetes hate the most: finger sticks. Now it's possible to manage your diabetes better, end the painful finger sticks, and get a new CGM monitoring system at little or no cost to you. We even provide in-home delivery and do all the insurance paperwork for you. Now is the best time to manage your diabetes better and get your continuous glucose monitor. Call now for details. Call 800-438-1391. 800-438-1391. That's 800-438-1391. Paid for by U.S. Med.
U.S. skier Nina O'Brien is big on wearable technology, but wearables do have drawbacks. She told Sport Techie, "It's kind of a double-edged sword. I really like having all that data, but on race day, I don't look at my readiness score before I ski. I don't like to be told I'm not ready." Professor Greg White says O'Brien's experience with tech is actually pretty common. He recommends athletes be mindful of tech overload as it can be damaging to their psychological readiness. Question for the data obsessed: which are you most likely to track? Heart rate or steps per day?
Heart rate for sure. That's the easy answer. I mean, there's certainly a epidemic of data overload across the board in the world, really, whether you're talking about athletes or otherwise. But it's particularly damaging, I believe, to athletes. I think you can, if you're an astute, experienced observer of sports, and you've watched enough games over enough years prior to the data epidemic really starting in earnest about 15 years ago, you can almost tell when you're watching someone play a sport who's thinking through their data while they're trying to play versus someone who's just going out there and playing on instinct. And you can almost see it. It's almost like the wheels are turning in someone's head. And I think data is generally detrimental to athletic performance when it comes to the athletes themselves. I think it's useful for coaches, but I think it's coaches' jobs to distill it in a way that the athlete is not thinking about it, because the last thing you can do when you're playing a million miles an hour in any competitive sport, you don't have time to think. You just have to do. And I see this mostly with quarterbacks, and I see this a lot with with uh with football players in general. Those playbooks are the size of the old dictionaries, and there's no reason for it. It's crazy to me. It's a real problem.
I agree. I agree. There sometimes is too much.
Yes.
Now, and I see it in an increasing amount, and where it's even more dangerous is in individual athletes. Because there's not a teammate around you telling you, let's bring it down and do what we do. It's you out there in your active mind checking data and doing things you shouldn't be doing. And it doesn't help your performance. I think it just hurts it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good observation. I mean, you see that in golf sometimes when guys are thinking about, you know, all the different things their coaches have talked to them about. It's not always just numbers too. It might be like trying to keep in mind what position to have a particular part of your body or some kind of mechanical form or technique thing. And like when you're out doing the match, that's the wrong time to be thinking about that.
Yes, you've played the game all your life. Let your instincts take over.
Yes.
Now, obviously, you're going to line up a shot in golf, have a plan.
Well, sure. And golf is a sport that lends itself to giving you the opportunity to think a little bit before you shoot your shot. It's not like football when like the play is snapped, you have about 2 seconds for everything to happen.
Right.
You know, or
And
basketball.
even in between, you got a play clock. You could take 5 minutes to line up a putt.
Right. They might look at you like, come on, man, hurry up. Get behind. I'm trying to play here. I got a dinner date. Shut it.
I've got 6 more angles to measure this from.
That's right.
Wait.
You wait your turn. Oh man, that's how you make enemies right there. That's a good way to find yourself on television for the wrong reason.
Oh yeah.
But
as people, we do tend to overthink things.
Oh yeah, and having access to data the way we do only makes it worse. Because
I have
there's more to think
all that
about.
crap on my phone.
Right.
I don't look at it. Oh, what's my heart rate now? Well, doing this show raises my heart rate sometimes with some of the things we talk about.
Well, yes, that's true.
And I don't look at my phone and go, oh man, I've only got 4,200 steps today. I need to move. I don't care.
Nope. I'm with you.
You'll move if you just live your life and don't lay around doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all the data I need.
Just like that. Look at that.
Just like that.
Oh, when we need some coffee too.
Mm-hmm.
Always need coffee. What are you drinking today?
Oh, I am drinking a fine Ecuadorian roast.
Ooh.
And this is good.
Where'd you get it from?
Got it from a local joint who brings in some great beans.
Sweet. That's good stuff.
And I'm telling you, someone asked me once what the most important substance is to life. And I said, water. And they asked me why. And I said, well, if you don't have water, you can't make coffee.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I love it.
So you just got to get down to the facts.
That's it.
Everything works out.
There we go. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll continue on. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you are ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All right, so Phoenix Suns. Rich has some stuff to talk about with them. What do we got?
The first thing I heard last night after that game, or saw mostly on socials and a little in the media, well, they didn't have Chris Paul and Cam Johnson. I don't care. The Celtics had a 45-point lead at one time.
Yep.
I don't care who you're missing, and the two guys you're missing are not making a difference.
Not when you're getting
Not
killed like that.
That much
Yeah.
of a difference. They're just not. Suns, you got a nice little thing going there in the West. You can play well enough to have a decent record and look real good. But I'll tell you what, if you think you belong on the court with Boston or Milwaukee,
Nope.
a healthy Bucks team,
No way.
you don't.
No way. No, I agree.
You don't.
100%.
As lousy as they're playing, the Warriors have a better chance than you.
Talk about the Warriors. What a loss last night. So, man, for those who didn't see this, because it was on till 1:00,000, here's what happened.
Of course I saw it.
Well, yeah, because you're you. That's why you live on coffee.
I don't sleep. I drink coffee.
That's right. So the Warriors were down big for a lot of this game. They made a great comeback, took a lead, a 4-point lead with about 13 seconds left. The Jazz hit this 3, which really should have been a 2. I think it was Clarkson got all the way to the basket. And then it looked like it was going to be a layup or a dunk, which the Warriors are willing to surrender at that point. Klay Thompson, inexplicably, and to his credit, owned his own mistake, came over, fell asleep, basically, left a shooter in the corner wide open. At the very last second, they kick it out to that shooter. They knock down the shot. Now it's a 1-point game. And then then something happened with Jordan Poole. He ends up turning the ball over when he could have just waited to be fouled. The Jazz get a dunk and win the game. It was ridiculous. It was just crazy.
Imploded.
It was nuts.
They imploded.
That's all it is. Yeah.
But I still think they're better representing the West than the Suns.
Yes. No, I mean, the West right now, it's not very good. I mean, it's, sometimes it's like a competitive, great conference where you don't know who's going to win because there's a lot of really good teams. Right now, all the teams that have plus records are very, very flawed, and it's obvious to see.
The Clippers.
The Clippers.
They had that little lead all game. It's nice. It's 5. It's 7. It's 9. It's the 7. It's 8. And I'm like, wow, y'all can't put Orlando away.
Yeah, and Orlando won.
Orlando wins it in overtime. Clippers are down by 1. They turn the ball over. Orlando gets fouled, makes 2 free throws. Clippers immediately turn the ball over. Orlando gets fouled, makes 2 free throws. That was a 5-point win for Orlando, and it all happened in the final 14 seconds.
It's crazy. No, there was some crazy
Another
games last night.
implosion.
Yeah, there were 2 last night. Yeah, there were 2. Those were 2 of them last night. And then you had, like you said, the Suns. I guess you could call that an implosion. It was just an implosion that started from the very beginning. They didn't wait till the end to implode.
That was just a non-contest.
That was just a beatdown of epic proportions. The more I look at it, talking about the West, I think I'm landing on 2 teams right now that look to be the best of the group to me. I really like the way New Orleans is playing.
Yeah.
They really, really play well. Their record is just kind of like really starting to look better. They're on a 5-game winning streak. So before this, they were like 11-8 or something. They weren't that good, but they've won 5 in a row. And now they're first in the West after the Suns lost last night. They're a half game up on the Suns in the Western Conference and the Grizzlies for that matter, which is the other team I like in this conference. They're missing a key player in Desmond Bane. He gets back, they'll be even more consistent. They're not getting killed while he's out, but they're clearly not as good, which makes sense because he's maybe their second best player.
Yeah. And my disappointment over there is Dallas.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in Dallas. I am too. Although they have won 3 in a row.
And you should not be, even though you're starting to win now. Let's see if they can consistently get that done.
I agree.
The Suns tested my patience for such a short amount of time. I'm sitting there. I'm going to kick in and really watch this game. Suns Celtics. I'm excited. I ended up with the Rangers in Vegas. I was so bored.
Yeah, that was a rough game. It really was a rough game.
I'm like, I don't need to see this. I already know what the real team and what the pretender is.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Boston is scary. I mean, they are so clearly the best team in the NBA right now.
They are very scary.
Milwaukee is going to give them a battle. But
they got to get used to playing together, the 3.
Yeah.
Again, and get their timing down and everything. They'll make noise. That to me, if it is Milwaukee, Boston, and I have no reason to see why it wouldn't, unless there's a major upset somewhere. That to me is the NBA Finals.
Right now, it looks that way. I completely agree. I mean, those 2 teams are so clearly the best teams in the NBA right now. I think it's very obvious.
Unless it's Memphis in my eyes, whoever comes out of the West is going to be a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Dallas
or a poet. Who knows?
Dallas and Denver, I think, and maybe Golden State still have the potential to maybe turn things around. I could still see one of those 3 teams being more representative, but as it sits right now today, Memphis is the only team in the West that I'd even consider, an opponent for either of those teams. I mean, those 2 teams are just good. I mean, when you look at those 2 teams, they have one thing in common. They got athletes on the wings. Big, long, strong, durable, versatile athletes on those wings. And that to me is it's not the point guard. It's not the front court player. It's not the shooter. It is those Swiss Army knife, big, strong, athletic wings who are durable. Those are your best players. Those are the guys that you build championship teams around. I mean,
that's what you win with.
That's what you win with. When you look at it throughout history, I mean, besides the Russell Celtics, a lot of the teams that have won multiple titles were led by one of those athletic wings. Whether you're talking about Jordan and the Bulls, you're talking about Bird and the Celtics, Magic. I mean, Magic's, they'll say usually a point guard. He's 6'9". He's not a normal point guard. He's playing center in the finals as a rookie. He's not. That's the different beast. But you look at Kobe. Kobe and Shaq. I mean, that was a dynamic duel. Then Kobe later on. You build around these guys. Kawhi Leonard with San Antonio, and then later on with Toronto. I mean, those are the guys you win with. And Giannis of late, LeBron, of course. And like now you have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That is one brutal combination to have to go against every night.
Tatum does everything incredibly well.
He's so good. He is.
Even the other night when he had a 5 for 18 shooting night, and those happen with him occasionally.
Yep.
And that's fine.
Yep.
Because he was all over the place defensively. Yep. He was rebounding.
Yep.
And Jaylen Brown, after Jrue Holiday, in my eyes, might be the best defensive guard.
Yeah, and then another guy on that short list is his teammate Marcus Smart. I mean, you have 3 guys right there. I just named 3 guys that could easily be on the all defensive first team.
They're all elite defenders.
And they're all teammates.
But back to the West, I'm with you on Dallas. I'm with you on Golden State. I can't get there on Denver.
Yeah.
They drive me nuts. They're a maddening team to watch.
They really are.
They should be so much better.
I agree. What are they missing? I mean, they're clearly missing a front court piece, but besides that, what's the disconnect?
I wish I could figure it out. I'm watching them the other day, and they're good, and they hold on for a good win, and Jokic is doing Jokic stuff.
Yep.
And he's amazing. The guard plays fine. Bones Highland is really starting to come on, too. Is a very good young guard. But it's without Porter Jr., it hurts. And he's been there and not there and more not than there. But another wing is a necessity for them. I can't take them seriously as a contender without a healthy Porter or another piece.
Yeah, they need Michael Porter. There's no question about it. They just don't have enough offense. And to your point, wing presence, defensive presence without him. They do need that. I totally agree. What's the nature of his injury? Is it just the back acting up again, or is it something else?
It's the back. He's got some lower body issues, probably for overcompensating with the back. And I don't know. I just don't want to see his career be like this.
Yeah, it doesn't look good right now. It's feeling very Brandon Roy-ish at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, dude, if you need to take the next 6 weeks off to get right, do it.
Right.
Because you're going to be needed back in February, March, and beyond.
And hopefully you could ever get right. That's the bigger question is, when you start talking about a back problem in your early 20s or even teens, that's not
scary.
That's pretty scary. You don't see that very often.
Absolutely right.
It's like Rod Stewart. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. His 11-year-old son had a heart attack.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard of someone like under 20 having a heart attack like ever. Like, I've never heard of someone that young having a heart attack. That's just crazy.
I've heard of people having heart issues. But not a heart attack.
No, not a heart attack. Yeah, you have, but most of the time when you're talking about those young people, it's a congenial genetic thing. It's not like, they didn't develop. They're not old enough. They haven't eaten enough garbage yet. Come on, you got to hang out with us for at least 20 more years. Then you could have your heart problems. When you eat enough Chick-fil-A, you eat enough bacon and eat enough big bacon, egg, and cheese. Like, you got to earn these heart problems, man. You got to live a little.
They can't just happen.
No. Oh man. All right, well, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got the top 5. We got a lot more NBA to get to. We got some NFL Thursday night football news you can use. We'll take a look at hockey. That's what's on tap. Hour 2 around the corner. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show, here on the Cave, cavetalkradio.com, the Cave Talk Radio app. Great to have you aboard. A lot of good stuff. You know, before we get to the top 5, I did want to say this has been a really cool baseball offseason. We mentioned it in the first hour. It's been a lot of fun. It really has. But that said, Rich is back, and it is the top of hour 2, which means we need our daily dose of Jack George in the top 5.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for King Talk Radio's Top 5.
All righty, hit us, Rich. What do we got today?
We are following up from yesterday when you gave me your top 5 all-time baseball free agent signings. Give me your 5 worst.
My 5 worst.
Yeah.
Roberto
Five
Alomar.
free agent signings that you just couldn't stand.
Roberto Alomar times 5. There, that's the whole list. That one. Well, that one could have been on yesterday's list because at the time it happened, it was like my favorite, and then as it played out, it became my least favorite. So that could have been technically top of both lists.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it yesterday. I saved it for today. That's definitely number 1 because of how it played out.
Yeah, you haven't been happy with him for his couple of years there.
No. Well, it's just the total collapse. I've never seen anything like it from a 5-tool guy the year before, an MVP type, a top 3 player in baseball, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 30 steals, gold glove, hitting 300. To then he comes here and he can't do any of it. Like, what happened? It's just mind-blowing. So that's number 1. Number 2, I was not happy with the A-Rod signing when he joined the Yankees because I thought he was going to the Red Sox. In fact, funny story, for someone who goes to very few games, I've been serendipitous on a handful of them to end up at like really important games when I had bought tickets like months in advance. And one of these games, I ended up there the day it was announced that the Red Sox were not going to be getting A-Rod when because if you remember, he was like basically signed and then or traded for rather, and then Major League Baseball didn't approve the trade. And then he ended up with the Yankees a couple days later. Well, that day, it was announced that he would be going to the Yankees, but he was already in Boston because the Yankees were playing the Red Sox, but he wasn't dressing. He wasn't playing yet. So, and I know this because I went to that series and they got booed like nobody's business. It was crazy. I was at that series with my friend Phil. It was 2004. We're in Fenway Park, and literally this had just happened. And we actually saw A-Rod on the street walking around one day. Oh, we were driving on Commonwealth Avenue or whatever it is there, and we literally saw him. We did a double take because Phil was driving. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. I look to my right, and they go, "Oh, that looks like A-Rod." I took a double take. There were like 3 huge guys with like Uzis or something. I was like, "Oh yeah, that must be A-Rod," like surrounding him. So the A-Rod trade really annoyed me. I know it's not a free agent signing, but I mean, it kind of was because then the Yankees like signed him to that big extension right after that. But that was one. That's another one. Let's see what else we got free agent wise that always bothered me. I never liked when the Mets signed oh God, who's that third baseman? Oh, Jed Lowry. Like, I was like, come on. Like it wasn't even that like I thought he was a bad player. It was just that like it was like your typical Sandy Alderson, Will Pond, penny pinching blah. That was just like we had a chance to do something cool here. and we're gonna get Jed Lowry, and then of course he plays like 2 games in 4 years for us. Like,
He had
okay.
bounced around the league too and was pretty much a lot of nothing.
He was a lot of nothing. The year before, he had like the best season of his career. And then we sign him,
Of course.
and he's got nothing, and he never played. Let's see some other ones. I wasn't a big fan of the signing of when the Yankees signed Kevin Brown. I thought that was a bad mistake. It turned out to be a bad mistake. Same with this Zach Greinke. Zach Greinke is a known neurotic, known to be like easily frazzled with his nerves, and that personality going into New York, that was a clear, obvious. This isn't going to work.
I remember that one too.
Did you have a couple?
No, there's nothing that really said to me, "Oh, this is an awful move. Why would you do that?"
Okay.
But I'm not in New York either, so
Yeah, those all stand out to me. Trying to think what else. I know I've seen some really bad signings over the years. When the Yankees signed the second base. No, not the Yankees. When Alfonso Soriano signed with the Cubs, it was clear at that point he was going to need a position change, and it wasn't clear how long he was going to keep being a good hitter. That was a strange one. And then the Red Sox signing, this might have been a trade. I don't remember, when they got Adrian Gonzalez on this massive contract. It was a signing. That's what it was. They had initially traded for him, and then they re-signed him. So sort of not a free agent, but pretty close.
I have one I could think of off the top of my head. Anthony Rendon signing with the Angels, 7 years, $245 million. And what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. And by the way, I was misremembering Greinke. It was the Dodgers, not the Yankees I was thinking of. Big market. He didn't sign with their Yankees. It was the Dodgers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I mean, Rendon won a title with the Nationals, and has there been a season yet? He's played 60 games with the Angels.
I don't think so.
$245 million. I think $245 is too much. Of course, the Angels did that too. I mean, Josh Hamilton. They've had a bunch of them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Hamilton all of a sudden not only didn't remember how to hit, but then went back on drugs. I mean, he was a mess.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Of course, the Bobby Bonilla signing.
Bobby Bo, don't you know?
Looks good at the time, but man, did they stretch that out. Trying to think if there were any others that that really stuck out in my mind. You know, when the Yankees signed Ellsbury, I questioned it. And it looked like I had good reason to. He was bad.
Yeah, he was horrible. That's a good one. That might be the top of the list. He barely played for like all those years, and they signed him to a fortune.
Yeah. And back then, anywhere near $20 million a year was a lot of money. Even, like 10 years ago.
What about Aaron Hicks? He's never been signed to some kind of monstrosity contract, but he's been signed to a handful of like fairly lucrative mid-grade contracts, and this guy's never healthy, and even when he is, he's very inconsistent. Brian Cashman, he must have like blackmail on Brian Cashman or something. It doesn't make sense. That's another one.
Cashman has made a lot of questionable signings. He really has. That's a good one. I forgot about him.
Well, he's still on the team.
I forgot what they, the signing though. I didn't. He's just there to me. I don't give him any thought.
Well, that's the thing. They signed him to a number of reasonable contracts, and he just never plays.
And there's a reason for it.
And he had who else you got? I mean, the Mets have made some boneheaded moves over the years too, but I gave him enough grief. All right, let's put these in order.
Okay.
Number one's Robbie Alomar for me. It just has to be. I'll never get over that one. That one's disappointing. Let's see. Number two, Rendon was a good one. He's been bad.
I was so happy when they signed him. I'm like, here's a guy who can hit. He can hit for average. He can hit for power, and he's a great defensive third baseman.
Yep.
He's been okay defensively in Anaheim.
But I think I got to go Jacoby Ellsbury here.
Oh.
At number two. I think, because he was a total, complete zero.
Yeah.
He really, truly was never healthy that whole time. It was just
I could say the same for Rendon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never healthy. He is not. I looked him up. The most games he's played in any one of these seasons with the Angels is 58.
That is bad.
And hitting around 240 in those games.
That's even worse. All right, so
that's a lot of money, $250 million for 7 years.
For not much.
To get nothing.
And how many years has he been there now?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
3,
okay.
I think.
Yep.
4.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that is bad. So we can go with that at number 3. That's a pretty bad one. Bobby Bowe has to be on this list. But it's a different category because it's almost so bad that it's fun.
Oh yeah, every year you wait for Bobby B Day.
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla Day. Yay. Yeah, it's a different type, but in a literal absolute sense, it's a terrible contract. So that's gonna go there. And then I think the last one for me, I don't know if it's Kevin Brown. Randy Johnson with the Yankees was also bad. I gotta go Jed Lowry. What a bust. What a bust. And it was just disappointing because it's just like we're just signing a scrap heap who happened to have a great year. Like, why are we doing this? Oh, I know why. Because our owners are cheap and our GM is cheaper. That's why.
How many players have great years on contract years, though?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody. Makes you wonder. It really does. Well, there you have it. There's your top 5. So just to recap it real quick, number 1, worst baseball free agent signing for me, Robbie Alomar. Number 2, Jacoby Ellsbury. Number 3,
Robbie Alomar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Roberto Alomar?
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Roberto Alomar was 1. Jacoby Ellsbury was 2. Anthony Rendon was 3. Number 4, I think we decided to go with who do we go with here? What's that? Bonilla, yes, and then we went with Lowry at 5.
Lowry, yeah.
Yep. There you go.
That was fun.
That was good. Bobby Bowe. Oh yeah, everyone's favorite. There we go. All right.
Oh, geez, and isn't this exciting? Gee, I wish I had Amazon Prime. We have a game to pick when we come back.
We do. We'll do that next. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, Call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All righty, we're back, and it's NFL time. Oh, baby, NFL football. There's just nothing like it. It's just the best sport as far as being able to bet, being able to discuss. It goes with the calendar. So of course today we have NFL football on Amazon because who doesn't love to stream football? And we have the Raiders and the Rams.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to miss that. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I'll be watching.
Of course, what are my options? Clippers, Heat? Come on.
Yeah, I'll be watching this game mostly because I like watching Max Crosby of the Raiders. He's fun.
Oh, he is a beast.
He's just fun to watch. There's redeeming individual players in this game that is obviously not a super important game on the schedule, but both teams have a handful of players that I enjoy watching individually, so I'll be watching for that reason.
Is Baker Mayfield going to make the start tonight?
Oh, boy. Let's go. Baker's dozen, baby.
They're talking about it like he is. I'm more sure Mayfield's going to play than I am if Anthony Davis is going to play in his next game because the Lakers have yet to clear him. It's a flu.
Ugh.
Jordan played with a flu.
Yeah, he played pretty well.
Yeah. Well, who do you got tonight? Raiders or Rams?
I'm going to go ahead and say I think the Raiders win this game. They've been playing a little better of late. They're not like buried. They're 2 games under 500. They're not good, but they're not like buried the way the Rams are buried. I think the Raiders win this one.
Yeah, for some reason, Devontae Adams, it may have taken him a while, but he found something. The Rams are just...
Well, they're terrible.
It's just one of those traffic accidents you can't stay away from.
Yeah, they're pretty much awful. I mean, and you start looking at some of the lines on this one. This is, believe it or not, the Rams are big-time underdogs. They're 7-point home underdogs.
They should be.
So if you're betting this game, keep that in mind because that's a big number. I mean, so there's not a lot of value here. Unless you want to go the spread. I mean, if you think the Raiders can really win this game by a lot, what you could do is you could tease up the spread a little bit and go from there. If you really believe the Raiders can win by, say, more than a touchdown, for example, by going to just 7.5, you would get plus money. As it sits right now, the default spread of 7 gets you minus 105. Just going to that hook gives you plus 100.
That's oh man, that is just
so that's an interesting bet. I think you could also maybe tease it up a little bit more to 9.5. so a touchdown and a field goal, basically, you get 125. So that would be one thing I would be looking at here is maybe expect the Raiders to win by a little bit more. Otherwise, you look at a couple of props here. I mean, you
I
can
think
look,
props might be the best way to go in this game.
yeah, I mean, you could look at like total touchdowns in the game, for example. You get plus money at over 5.5. So basically, if you think this game's going to be in the mid-20s on both sides, you can get plus money if you go over 5.5. If you used to be lower scoring, maybe because I could see this game maybe being like 20 to 17 type of thing. So like 3 touchdowns or so. You can go under at get plus 260, under 3.5 touchdowns. You're gonna get creative if you're gonna bet this game because like the main markets are not attractive. The Rams are gonna win this, are gonna lose this game most likely. Uh, and I just don't like to bet the spread when I'm giving away money. I don't like to get negative money. So I'm either gonna not bet this game or I'm gonna go for something where it's a little bit more creative, a little bit higher risk but higher reward. So there you have it. Not a good look. Not a good look. Now here's something interesting. Let's see here. If you're gonna be watching this game, here's one thing I would be looking out for. Does the Rams defensive front find a way to get some pressure on the Raiders? Are they able to get in that backfield? Because that's been the biggest difference between this year's Rams team and last year's team that I've observed is they do not get any pressure whatsoever from their front four anymore. And that's been the biggest difference. That and of course Stafford's inconsistent play and health. He wasn't healthy this whole season. He probably should have just like not played this year, to be honest.
I agree.
But he to give him a lot of credit, he went to battle and he tried to help his team, and I always respect that. But he was never effective. So between Stafford's bad play and their lack of any ability to get a pass rush, it's been a rough year for the Rams. So there you have it. That's Thursday Night Football. I'll be watching. Like I said, there's a handful of players I want to see, and then there's just not a lot of alternatives. Slow TV night tonight. So I'll probably be tuned into some football.
I don't have Prime, so
well, I don't either, but
I will not. Yeah, but you have a way to watch Prime. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy Rob has it. My mom has it, so I can go grab it. So there you go.
And this game just doesn't really hold much for me. So
yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited about any football game. Like there's almost no football game I don't want to watch at least a little bit of. It's easily the best sport to watch during the weekend, usually, unless there's a big NBA game on. Sometimes
and I'm exactly the opposite. I'm having so much fun with the NBA and NHL. Football's an afterthought to me.
Yeah.
I watch, but
yeah, football is always top of mind. That and the NBA are always top of mind for me. Those two. Although baseball free agency has been exciting these last couple of days, really the last week or so, it's been pretty. It's cool to have a organic reason to talk about baseball in December.
It really is, and I mean it makes it for us too. It gives us something to talk about. It's different.
No question. No question.
So I'm not talking about if the second string left tackle of the Rams can handle the pass rush. I mean, because quite honestly, I don't care.
Yeah, I always care about football.
If I have to get that deep into it, no, I don't.
Yeah, no. There's like nothing that can make me not care about the NFL. The NFL is like always something of interest to me. And I think
but there's a lot of things that can make me not. And I'm not going to get into them now.
Yeah, and there's nothing like NFL football. And I mean their numbers show that. Oh my God, their numbers are crazy. People are addicted
they've been for a long time.
Decades, yeah. People are addicted to it. Totally addicted to it. What's interesting is college football, by comparison, holds no water for me. And that's a very regional sport in the sense that like there's parts of the country where it is the absolute number one, and it's also the number 2 and 3. There's parts of the country where it's like pretty relevant. Like for example, the Carolinas, it's relevant, but it's not
Yeah.
the thing.
No, college basketball is
Basketball,
more the thing.
right?
Now,
And
if I lived in Columbus, Ohio, or Ann Arbor,
right, yeah. Well,
not that please I ever want to live in either of those places.
yeah. Well, that
Um,
becomes more of a thing.
Right.
And Columbus, of course, has an NHL team. But Ohio State is the thing there.
Right. And it's different when you live, and neither of us live near a football power, college football
Right.
power.
Well, that's
We
the
have
thing.
we have mid majors at best.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly right. So there you have it. So, looking at the NFL, Raiders and Rams, I got the Raiders. I think they're the better team. I think they'll win, and we'll see from there. We got to take a break. We'll come back. When we come back, we got news you can use. We got a little more NBA. We got some NHL scores to run through. So back after this, that's what's on tap the rest of the way. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then, if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All right, Rich, what do we have in the NHL?
Okay, before we do that, real quick, the A's signed someone.
Whoa!
Aledmus Diaz from the Houston Astros. He was a utility infielder there. I guess the A's probably have more of a role for him. 2 years, $14 million. And here's some perception for you. You go into free agency, you're not a big guy, but you go 1 for 22 with 6 strikeouts in the postseason. He's lucky he got an offer. Now, on the other hand, if you're not Diaz, if you're Aaron Judge, he went 5 for 36 last postseason, 1 for 16 against the Astros, and he cashed a check. How's that for a difference? It's all in what you do, what you've done, and who you are.
There you
So
go.
Diaz,
Did Diaz get a piece of Vegas real estate as part of the deal too?
Nope, he got 2 years, $14 million, pending a physical, of course, because the A's just don't give money away. Okay, NHL stuff. 7-game slate last night, 2 involving local / statewide teams. I'll start in Columbus, Ohio, where the Sabres put a 6 spot up in the first period. and ended up beating Columbus 9-4. It was not a game. It was fun to watch. Tage Thompson had a 6-point night, 5 goals and 1 assist. Alex Tuck had a goal and 3 assists. Rasmus Dahlin and Dylan Cousins each had the servo hat trick, a goal and 2 assists. The late game, which was a lot better than Celtics Suns. The New York Rangers beat up on Vegas in the third period. This is a 1-1 game with about 13 minutes left, and the Rangers just unleashed hell in a 5-1 win. Mika Zibanejad got what ended up being the game-winning goal on an incredible play. And one more hockey note, Alex Ovechkin got 2 more goals last night. He is now 99 behind 99. He's got 99 goals to tie Wayne Gretzky for the all-time lead.
Does he get there?
I think he does. He's 38, plays like he's 28. And I think he plays 2 more years after this one and gets there. Speaking of Wayne Gretzky, a great note last night. They were talking about Vegas, of course, because Vegas was the second game they had. And Gretzky was going on about Michael Jordan. Jordan orders a drink from a girl, and he hands her a $5 chip as a tip. Okay, $5 for delivering one great drink. Gretzky takes the chip back, gives her a $100 chip, and said, "This is how you tip in Vegas, Mike."
Whoa.
And Jordan said, "What do I do? I got to listen to him. He's Wayne Gretzky."
That's funny. That's funny.
Great stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Now let's take a look here at a couple of teams. The Knicks. I want to talk about the Knicks. They got a win last night.
They did.
They looked reasonably good doing it. And I was reading this morning. I'm telling you, people listen to our show. Cam Reddish and Emmanuel Quigley are on the trading block. Now,
As is Derrick Rose.
Now, who was talking about that? Like, I don't know, a day and a half ago, 2 days ago? I could have sworn I heard that somewhere. Oh, that's right. We were talking about it, especially
Right.
Quigley and Reddish. I mean, because they just don't make sense. Thibodeau hates Reddish, and Quigley doesn't fit.
Well, they just have too many of Quigley.
Well, yeah, there's 4 of him, right? 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Of him.
And I know he likes Grimes.
Right, and Rose is his son.
Although Rose is on the block, I don't think you're going to get much for him. He's 34. He has an injury history. Now, if you think about it, the market for Reddish is nothing great either. They're not going to get what they gave up to get him. I mean, they gave, Atlanta, Kevin Knox's expiring contract and a protected first. You're not getting that back, and Tibbs is part of the reason you won't get that back because he refuses to play him. If you're really trying to trade him, showcase the guy. The problem is, if you showcase him, I think people will see the reason why you should never trade him.
See,
Quickly, they want a number 1 for, period. What do you think? Do they get it?
I'll tell you this. I would be much more interested in Quigley and Reddish as a Laker fan than I am in Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Quigley, to me, has a lot of upside.
He does.
He could play next to Westbrook on that second unit, or he could start because Beverly's dead. So, like, I could start him. I probably would start him, actually, and I would start Reddish at the wing. Those, to me, would both be starters with the Lakers. And
you know how big of an upgrade Reddish is over Brown?
Oh my God, massive! Like, if I could get those 2 guys for one of those number 1s and a piece, whether it's Beverly or it's Nunn, or it's some other combination of Toscano Anderson, whatever it is, like other peripheral pieces, I'm in.
Now, another thing from the Knicks. Someone was telling me they're not going to trade Fournier, it looks like.
That's reasonable. He's a solid player. I mean,
and not only that,
he fits their roster.
It's not going to help their cap issue if they do.
Right.
Because the only way that they trade Fournier is to attach a draft pick to it. And they don't want to give up number ones. They want to bring a couple in to use, either drafting or as trade chips. Now, if you attach either Quigley or Reddish to Fournier, they might make a deal if a team wants that. But I don't know what team can absorb the cap without giving something up. And the Knicks are interested in draft picks, and I don't know why. Can't throw a draft pick on the floor and tell it to go out there and play. And I don't know. The Reddish thing confuses me because why not play him? He's your best wing defender.
I agree.
And he does give you something on offense.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If I'm the Lakers or any other team for that matter, like, I think he would help Denver, Cam Reddish. I think he'd help them a lot. He gives them some much needed athleticism.
I think he'd be the missing piece there.
Yeah, I think he helps them a lot. I think Quickly would help them. They don't have a great bench as far as scoring is concerned either.
Although, like I said, this kid Bones Highland, I like him more and more every time I see him.
Bones.
The more and more playing time he gets. He threw in a nice 20-piece the other night, too. He's getting better and better.
Yep. No, it's good stuff.
We got a few minutes to do a little more NBA news.
Yeah, what do we got?
Well, Victor Oladipo made his debut the other night.
Okay, that's good for Miami.
And they're hurting for a bench with all the injuries they have. There's a lot of guys, year 7, and a lot of guys I don't list on the daily because they seldom play. But the Heat is unwilling to fill their 15th roster spot because of the luxury tax. They don't want to go over the luxury tax. First of all, how much are you going to go over filling a 15th spot? And if you have guys banged up, I mean, this is killing Miami's depth. And again, they're what? 29th in the league in bench scoring and bench shooting. They're shooting 42%. Their bench.
That's
Jeez.
amazing. I mean, that's a hot. 42 or 47.
The bench, 42.
Oh, okay. That's not that great then. I thought you said 47. Okay, now 42 is just kind of eh. It's not terrible, but it's not. You talking about from 3 or from field?
No, from the field.
Yeah,
the bench, not the.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The full roster.
Okay. Yeah, right. No, I understand. Yeah, the 42 from the field isn't great. By NBA standards, that's about a couple points below league average. But I guess for a bench, it's probably about average.
It's a little low.
Yeah.
The average for a bench is around 44.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So, yeah, with all these guys dinged up, I mean, there's Yurtseven who's out for a while. There's Gabe Vincent. There's a million guys on that injury report, and I don't want to type that much because they're not, major pieces.
Right.
But depth was Miami's strength. And putting Hero and Caleb Martin in the starting lineup, they have no depth. And they had no choice. They had to give in on the Hero thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of
course, there's Duncan Robinson over there, but he's not only in the doghouse. They locked the door and threw away the key. He's never getting out.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Like, they locked him up. He is God.
If someone had a reason, I'd say, okay, this is why you're doing this. But I haven't heard one yet.
They must have a reason, but like it's just hard to reason with when you watch this team play every night and they struggle so much to score so much of the time. Like, yeah, I get he's a bad defender, but like, can't you benefit from like the 15 points he'd probably give you if you played him 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that help? I feel like it would.
Yeah, there's other places he's going to not do it, but he'll grab a couple of rebounds too, just for how big he is.
Yeah, he's 6'9", 6'10", whatever he is, right?
Exactly. Yeah, he's like 6'10".
Yeah.
It's insane. The Wizards' big three has worked out pretty well. Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, and Kristaps Porzingis.
Mm-hmm.
The team is real happy, but the production they're getting from their role players is just off.
They don't have any role players.
When Beal was out due to a hamstring injury he had Monte Morris, Will Barton, and Denis Avdija off the bench, who have done nothing.
I'm disappointed with Morris in particular. He's shown at times in his career to be a potentially explosive reserve scorer, and he's been a zero.
Yeah, and Barton has too.
Yes. Well, both of them did it in Denver. They were teammates there.
Right. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's a nice three to build around, but if everybody else is not working out, you're not going anywhere. And that's one of the main reasons why. 3 games in the association tonight. Do you like any of them?
Run them down for us.
Clippers at Heat, no. And I'm a Clippers fan.
Yep.
That's how much I don't want to watch that. Rockets at Spurs. No, I have a healthy enough sense of humor. I don't need to watch that. The only one mildly interesting is Nuggets at Blazers.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. I'll tell you something about the Houston-San Antonio game. San Antonio's on an 11-game losing streak.
Yes, they are.
They're giving up like 120 points a game. Like, I might turn it on because, who doesn't love to rubberneck and watch the tire fire along the highway? I mean, that's because that's what you're getting. I mean, like,
oh, it is.
That's exactly what this is. It's like, we stink, but you're almost as bad. We might have a chance tonight. We might win tonight. I was saying today that they say everything's bigger in Texas, except maybe the record of the Rockets and Spurs, because combined they'd be under 5. If you put both their win totals together, that both teams would still be under 500.
Oh, yeah. The only thing bigger in Texas right now is the space being wasted with these two teams. This is brutal.
I mean, at least the Spurs, this is their first year of like truly bottoming out. The Rockets have been at this for a while now. I was expecting a little improvement from them. I was expecting more improvement from Jalen Green. I was expecting more improvement from this coaching staff. I feel like this team is like really just stuck in the mud.
Green to me right now is more style than substance.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. I agree.
And you drafted another kid, the kid Smith from Auburn, really high, and you choose not to make him part of your offense.
Mm-hmm.
I throw a lot of this on coaching.
I don't disagree.
And one more quick NBA note: Steve Clifford saying in Charlotte, "Well, we've been injured. We haven't had the chance to play together and gel.
Oh.
We've had as many as 3 and 4 guys out of the lineup. Well, 3 or 4 out of 15 is a lot. I'll tell you what. I watched the Colorado Avalanche for a while last night. You have 18 skaters on a hockey team. 10 of them are out injured, including their captain and Nathan McKinnon, one of the best players in the league. I don't hear them whining about injuries. Get to work, Clifford."
Charlotte's a losing franchise. It always has been, probably always will be, to be perfectly honest.
It's a joke. It's terrible. But don't whine about a few injuries. Everyone in every sport has them.
All right, what do we got for news you can use today?
Oh, got some interesting stuff. Micah Parsons, $1 million worth of talent, 10-cent brain. Took a shot at Nick Bosa. Bosa was named Defensive Player of the Week, and he was named Defensive Player of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
And Parsons is quite upset about that. He said, you can always tell the difference of people who watch film and those who look at stats. LOL. Shut up. You're an idiot. You're a great football player. You're an idiot.
I mean,
There's no...
he's probably just pissed he didn't win it. I mean, I don't really have a big problem with this, to be honest with you.
Just shut up.
I don't mind it. Like, it would be one thing if he was just a guy who wasn't right there in contention for this, but I like that he takes this a bit personal. That I actually want to see that in more guys. I like the fact that he's taking that a little personal, because that's what he's doing. He's pissed he didn't win it.
Right, but please.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
I don't call out another player because of it.
I know he's not your teammate. He's maybe your biggest rival in terms of the team you might play in the NFC Championship game, other than Philly. I mean, I don't have a problem with this at all. I actually kind of like it, to be honest with you.
I do.
I think it's cool.
I do. Who are you to talk about someone else like they haven't achieved anything? That it should be no contest.
It's competitive trash talk.
Oh, shut up.
I love it.
That's all I got to say.
I'm all about it. I want more of it, not less. Keep on talking, Mike, and you got this. Keep on talking, Micah.
You can have it all.
And I'm a Niners fan, and I love Nick Bosa. And I would love this if Bosa said, if it was reversed, I would love it just as much. Like, let's talk some trash. Let's not like each other. We're rivals. Let's act like it. I'm down with this all the way. What else we got?
The 3 Virginia football players killed in a shooting last year were all awarded posthumous degrees. Looks good on the University of Virginia. I like that. The Bills announced that Von Miller's out for the season with a torn ACL. So much him coming back.
I saw that. That sucks. That hurts the Bills immensely.
It really does. So you don't have that, at least he'll be back thing hanging over you. This is the worst case scenario. He's not coming back. When they were doing the surgery to reposition the lateral meniscus and clean up the cartilage damage, the doctors saw the torn ACL. It didn't show up on the initial scans.
I remember that.
It's the same ACL that Miller tore in 2013. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're a betting person, Sportsline knocked the Bills' chances of winning the AFC down from 39.1% to 32.7%, and his chance of winning the Super Bowl from 24.8% to 19%.
I'm surprised it wasn't bigger than that.
I am too.
That's a big number either way. But I mean, to me, this makes it clear as day that Kansas City is the better of the two teams. Like, to me, Von Miller was like the thing that the Bills did this offseason that really, like, okay.
And I mean, Miller had 4 sacks in the playoffs for the Rams last year.
Yep.
He had 8 this year, and 2 of those 8 came in that win against the Chiefs. The Bills have almost a 7.5% sack rate when he's on the field, compared to 6% without him. Now, no other Bills player has more than 5, and they have to be expecting Greg Rousseau and A.J. Epinesa and Boogie Basham to step up. They're capable, but they don't have that track record that Miller has.
No, Miller is
and they're all young. Can one of them surprise? Possibly. But that's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. I agree.
More football stuff. Jimmy Garoppolo returning for the postseason now seems unlikely.
Yeah.
That just came out. And they don't see him being able now to come back for the playoffs. They say potentially He could return in the title game now. In the NFC title game. He doesn't have a Lisfranc injury. He doesn't need foot surgery.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if he's not going to be available until the NFC title game, if the Niners are in the NFC title game, that means Purdy's probably playing okay. And at that point, you just go with the guy that got you there, I think.
Right.
Oh,
I agree completely.
Yeah. I would be okay with him coming back as late as like the division round. Because like they're gonna get to the playoffs based on what was done before Purdy stepped in, more or less. And then it's just they might even just be in a division round depending how the seeding falls. You know what I mean? So so that I would go with my number one guy. But if I get through a playoff game with Purdy or two, depending if we play the wild card or not, I'm going all the way with the guy that took us there.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, because now they're saying it could be up to 8 weeks.
Right.
With Garoppolo. So that's NFC title game at the minimum.
Well, if it's 8 weeks,
Saints, yeah. Saints, Mark Ingram likely out the rest of the 2022 season with a partial MCL tear. That it just gets from bad to worse with this poor guy.
Yeah, he's had a lot of problems. Like those partial tears are often worse than tearing the full thing.
Yeah, they are.
They're harder to repair.
I got time for anything else?
Yeah, you got one or two more.
MLB reportedly used 3 baseballs during the 2022 season. Baseballs of different measurements in the ball. And apparently the Yankees supposedly benefited from this because of the Judge thing, which I find hilarious. Wouldn't be an MLB offseason without a baseball-related scandal.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's garbage. Like, okay, so you're going to tell me Judge benefited from these baseballs? Well, weren't the guys he was playing with and against in all those games using the same baseball he was smashing over the wall and they weren't? Like, please, give me a break with that trash. Stop trying to make nothing out of something out of nothing. Like, please, that's garbage. Yes, baseball likes to experiment with the ball. We know that. But, like, I don't really think you can say, well, it helped Aaron Judge. No one else got benefit from it? Like, please.
No, just Aaron Judge. Don't you know this?
Come on. Give me a break.
Well, Manfred had said before the season they were going to use 1 baseball during the entire season. And then it comes out that there were 3 different ones. And some astrophysicist conducted various studies on MLB balls the past couple of years. And they had a sample of 204 baseballs from this season and determined that 3 types were used in games. I don't know.
So what? Why are we taking astrophysicists and examining baseballs? Like, can't we do something more constructive with an astrophysicist? Or maybe we can't, and maybe they're just useless, nerds. And that's possible too. But like, I mean, we can't do anything in space anyway. So like, I never understood the whole point of NASA to begin with, to be honest with you. Like, what are we doing? We ran away to the moon. Some people say we didn't, but whatever. We ran away to the moon. Then what?
I'm one of them.
You're an anti-mooner guy?
Yes.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I think it was shot in a film studio.
All right. Well, there you go.
And I also think like NASA's a waste of money.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with. I tend to think we probably did land on the moon, but like, whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's just a waste. Like, and even if we did, who cares? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
It's like pointless.
But yeah, the big deal about this is the Yankees benefiting on this. I'm like, why is it just the Yankees?
Oh, they clearly benefited so much that they couldn't hit the damn ball when the playoffs came around.
And one last one. The Falcons have a new starting quarterback. It looks like they're looking to the future. Rookie quarterback Desmond Ridder is replacing Marcus Mariota.
I'll end it like this. Ridder me this.
Oh, yes, Batman.
That's how we'll end today's show. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 to noon. We'll see you then. We'll have NFL picks and everything else on a Friday. The Gary Ayd Show back after this 23 and a half hour break here on The Cave.